On the last episode, we talked about social entrepreneurialism, the concept of a business accomplishing philanthropic goals using the profits it creates. On today's micro episode, I'd like to share an idea that could fill your heart and your belly. I'm Jeremy Fisher. This is The Awakening. Micro Edition. Back in 2013, I was leaving Barnes& Noble, walking to my car, and I was approached by a guy. I could tell as he headed towards me that he was going to ask me for something. He had a slender build, high-water pants, a wrinkled polo shirt, and a long drooping nose. "Hey man," he said, "could you help me out?" I could feel my hand slide into my front pocket and get a grip on my keys. Before I could respond with a polite "no thank you," he said, "My family's over there in the car, and we're kind of stranded. We need money for food tonight and gas to get home. Is there any way you could help me out?" He stretched his finger out and pointed towards a car that had in it what I presumed to be his wife and child. "Sure," I said. I reached into my back pocket and pulled out my wallet. I don't recall the amount that I gave him, but it was a lot of money for me at the time, probably $50 or $60. "Thanks, man," he said, "and God bless," as he headed off. I drove away feeling like I helped someone in need. It felt really good. The next day, I headed back to Barnes& Noble. There was a problem with the book I bought, and I wanted to exchange it. On my way back out, I was approached again. "Hey man, could you help me out? My family's over there in my car, and we're stranded. We need money for food and gas. Is there any way you could help me?" I was in shock. It was the exact same guy. He was obviously scamming people. Even worse, he was using his family to do it. I couldn't really respond. My brain just couldn't compute what was happening. How did he not recognize me? I thought I had helped this guy out. I gave him a lot of money. The feelings of goodwill from yesterday were ripped out of my body. I replied with a sharp no and spent the drive home wondering what could cause someone to do this to people. I felt like my goodwill was taken advantage of. I felt cheated. I couldn't help but wonder how many other people were asking for money who were actually in need. And with people like him out there, how many people didn't get what they need because people like me have been burned and won't give to anyone ever again. I settled on a new practice. I would never give anyone money again unless I was 100% certain it would help them out. But how do you do that? I realized there's really no way. The best I could think of was to start buying McDonald's gift cards to hand out when I get asked like that, so that at least I'll know for sure that if someone is actually hungry, my gift will go towards food. But then again, I still can't guarantee that someone wouldn't sell that for money and use that money for something that's not food. But did that keep me from buying McDonald's gift cards and giving them out to those in need? Nope. I still do that to this day. There's something in us that hates the idea of someone going hungry, especially those in need. So, what's a social entrepreneurial idea for someone who wants to feed the hungry without running a food shelter? The world-class $1 restaurant. Picture a restaurant that has a full breakfast, lunch, and dinner menu that is as high quality and filling as any fine dining restaurant. And picture a menu where you can get that full breakfast, lunch, or dinner for $1. Here's the catch. Every single square inch of the restaurant is covered in ads purchased by other businesses. Some restaurants already have menus and tables that have small business advertisements, but this restaurant will take it to a whole other level. The cups, the plates, the napkins, the straws, the servers' aprons, everything in the building will have an advertisement on it. Small businesses will pay to have their ads in your restaurant, and every year, with that income, the restaurant can offer high-quality food for anyone to enjoy for $1 a plate. The trick is, with this concept, the food has to taste really, really good. If the food's good enough, the patrons aren't going to just be people who live on the streets. Lots of people will want to visit and enjoy an excellent meal for $1. And for those who can't afford to eat anywhere else, they'll have a steady food option. I have to reiterate, the key to this idea actually working is that the food quality has to be world class. Like, I'm talking Michelin star style. Get the best ingredients, the best chef. It should operate just like any restaurant that would normally charge $100 a plate. If you operate this like a food shelter with cheap, low quality food, it's going to exclusively attract people who are looking for a free or cheap meal, and business owners aren't going to want to pay for ads at a restaurant where every single patron is broke. That's going to make the idea fail. It has to be set up like a world class restaurant where the real price you pay is not the $1 for the meal, it's that you have to be surrounded by advertisements. Now, if the restaurant becomes so popular that you start to get booked up, always leave a percentage of seat spaces available for people in need to eat there. Businesses that advertise will not only get good exposure from their ads, but they'll be happy to contribute to a worthy cause. Could people take advantage of this idea? Sure. It would be easy for someone to pretend that they're homeless just to get in when the restaurant's busy. And I'm sure some people will do that. But I wouldn't worry too much about that. Let people do what they're going to do as long as they aren't repeat abusers. When it comes to giving, we can't let people who take advantage of our good nature ruin our nature to give. That is ultimately how good wins. I often wonder what happened to the guy that I met outside of Barnes & Noble. Did he finally figure out a way to land on his feet? Is he still roaming parking lots looking for other people to swindle? If I had it to do over again, I'd have a conversation with him. I'd figure out why he didn't see another path. And being who I am, I'd probably give him a few suggestions other than taking money from people where he could make a living. And if this $1 world-class restaurant existed, I'd like to have a meal with him. Since that didn't happen, I'm left to wonder. Barnes & Noble guy, wherever you are, I hope you landed on your feet. That's it for today's show. You can find business and career ideas at theawakening.com. If opportunity doesn't come knocking, let's build a door.